Welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with some more updates coming out from the war between Russia and Ukraine, and I've got lots of big news to share with you today. We're going to start off with this story here on your screen as Ukraine unveiled a new anti-air laser weapon system dubbed Tryzub. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but I believe that is the Ukrainian word for trident in English, which is their symbol for Ukraine. Now, this is Vadim Sukharevsky. He is the commander of the unmanned system forces in Ukraine, and he said Ukraine has a laser weapon, Tryzub, capable of shooting down aircraft at altitudes exceeding 2 kilometers. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this information here in just a little bit. As far as I know, Ukraine is one of 5 other countries that currently have a laser weapon system that is capable of shooting down aircraft or maybe even drones is what this could be used for as well. Yeah, very big news coming out from Ukraine today. So I also have some information that there was a drone attack last night reported in the Donetsk region of Ukraine. This is in Russian-occupied territory. Looks like Ukraine potentially attacked another ammunition warehouse, and I've got video footage of that. Then we also have some reports of Russia's economy not doing too well once again. The stock market was crashing again today, I believe. And then also some reports of one of their major banks still continuing to go under called VTB. We'll talk about that some more as we move on. But I've got lots of things that I want to show you guys today. We even have some statements coming out from Vladimir Putin and Andrei Belousov as well. He is the defense minister of Russia. They were making some statements today regarding NATO and this war against Ukraine. So I'm going to show you guys some of the video footage coming out from there. But let's go ahead and hop into this. We're going to jump on over to RBC Ukraine just for a minute. We're going to talk about this new laser weapon that Ukraine has unveiled, okay? So it says here, Ukraine unveils laser weapon capable of downing aircraft. This just coming out today, December 16th, 2024. Here's a picture of Vadim Sukharevsky. Again, he is the commander of the unmanned system forces, of Ukraine. And it says here, Ukraine has a laser weapon, Tryzub, capable of shooting down aircraft at altitudes exceeding 2 kilometers, stated Vadim Sukharevsky, commander of the unmanned system forces, according to Interfax Ukraine. Ukraine is now the 5th country to have such laser technology. Currently, we can down aircraft at over 2 kilometers altitude using this laser, Sukharevsky stated. According to him, the unmanned system forces is currently on its way to scale up and enhance the laser system. It really works. It really exists, he emphasized. Sukharevsky also highlighted progress in Ukraine's development of mother drones capable of carrying lightweight strike drones. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so it looks like they're going to be creating some mother drones as well that will also carry potentially 2 FPV drones on top of it that could be used as lightweight strike drones. So it says here, today we use so-called mother drones, FPV carriers, with a range of more than 70 kilometers. They carry 2 FPVs and actually act as a repeater and hit deep enemy targets. In my opinion, this is a real breakthrough, he noted. Scaling this project is among the most promising initiatives within this work, Sukharevsky added. So there is some more information here regarding Ukraine's unmanned system force if you guys want to read that down below, but that's not really relating to this new laser that Ukraine has unveiled, but this is very big news, okay? Again, Ukraine is one of just a few countries that currently have an active laser weapon that can be used to down aircraft and potentially even drones, aerial objects that come into their country. So that is some interesting information coming out today, and I was not expecting that from Ukraine. Ukraine for sure has been unveiling lots of new weapons and now this laser weapon being used potentially very soon inside this war against Russia. So very big news. Let's go ahead and hop on over to X now, and I've got several things I want to show you guys over here. So we've got this report from Anton Gerashenko. A drone attack is reported on a Russian ammunitions warehouse in Russian-occupied Donetsk region. Explosions were heard all night. Destruction is reported of ammunition, 4 infantry fighting vehicles, tanks, anti-tank missiles, mines, grenades, and millions of rounds of various calibers. So it looks like lots of small arms being destroyed here at another ammunition warehouse in the Donetsk region. Now, we just reported one of these late last week, also in the Donetsk region. Now, another one apparently being hit over here in this area as well. So you can see there major fire in the distance over there as a drone attack took place targeting another ammunition warehouse from Russia's forces, okay? So moving on to another update from David D. So far, the Russian stock market has blown past the 2020 recession and now is back to 2018 losses and dropping. More companies are looking at bankruptcy this morning. Okay, so here's a picture of the Russian stock market where it's kind of at right now. Looks like right around 2,400, just hovering a little bit over that. And we have been reporting recently that the Russian stock market is continuing to fall apart. It is obviously not at catastrophic levels yet, but we'll see what happens here very soon, as it looks like it is continuing to slide recently. Maybe it will even drop below where it was at here just after the start of the war. Looks like close to 2023. It was at somewhere just below 2,000. Okay, so just another update, letting you guys know how the stock market is going in Russia right now. Here's another report from Jason J. Smart. Moscow Exchange hits new low. The Moscow Exchange has broken a new record for the year, down to 2426 points. Russians are scared to invest as economy heads for collapse. Okay, so here's a picture of the Russian stock market today, as most of everything in the stock market was red. Looks like there was only one here that was green. A large amount of stocks were red today in the stock market. Okay, so very bad sign for Russia's economy still. Also from Jane Kiev, let's pour one out for Russia's second largest bank, heading to levels not since the 1990s when Russians were drinking cologne. Okay, so here's another picture and chart to show you guys of Russia's bank, VTB. We've been talking about this bank recently, that it's at a very close position to collapsing completely. And is the Russian central bank going to bail out this bank? What's going to happen? Because again, it's the second largest bank in Russia. And if this bank ends up going under, that's going to pose a major threat to Russia's economy. And, they're already battling high inflation, high interest rates. I'm also hearing as well, I think Reuters was reporting today that very soon the Russian central bank could up their key interest rate to 23%, up from 21% that they just raised like a couple months ago. Okay. So very big news regarding Russia's economy. Here's another update as well. Jurgen Nodit, the Russian economy is in ruins. In Russia, they began to lay off IT workers on a massive scale. According to the Bell, VK, Sberbank, MTS, and other large companies are laying off entire departments with a double-digit key interest rate. Companies are having difficulty retaining expensive employees and are forced to abandon development. The economy is in ruins. It seemed that everyone really needed IT specialists. There was a shortage of staff. Everything was going well, but the market has no money for development. But everyone is hiding this because in Russia, the economy cannot be in chaos, says the Bell's interlocutor at the market. Okay, so we have been seeing lots of information like this regarding Russia's economy, that it's not doing well. We've been hearing that, lots of major stores in Russia are starting to close. I think there was a major consumer electronics store, I forget the name of it, that was talking about bankruptcy or just major economic issues over there. Even high-end retail stores having issues as well. So yeah, just major problems with Russia's economy. And is this going to force Russia to have to potentially end this war this year? I think it could be very possible, but it does look like the war could potentially be going that direction anyway. And we'll see if Ukraine and Russia can negotiate this year and try to end this. Okay, also from Igor Sushko, Russia, the State Duma proposed to bring back Soviet-style food ration cards nationwide. Residents in Far East Kamchatka already receive ration cards they can exchange for fish, and Kaliningrad will start issuing ration cards to pensioners in 2025. So here's a picture of some of these cards here. So that's not a good sign also, okay? If they're having to issue food ration cards nationwide, then just another major sign to me that the economy is not doing well. But let me know what you think down below regarding this. Also from Jurgen Nodit again, and here are some photos from Omsk in Russia. Only rats feel at home in this city with 1.1 million people. When you see that, it's no surprise that Russia will reintroduce food stamps from 2025. Not a fake, brutal truth. Okay, so check out these pictures from Omsk, Russia. Okay, this is a major city in Russia, right around 1 million people that live here. And this city is in complete ruins, okay? They barely even have roads here, as you can see. And even the buildings don't appear to be well upkept. There's lots of trash everywhere. So, large portions of Russia are very poor. We've seen this time and time again, even up in the Kursk region. When the Ukrainians officially went in there, we heard from the Ukrainian soldiers, they were talking about how poor the conditions were for the Russians that were living there. And just think about, the fact that Russia's holding this war right now, lobbing missiles into Ukraine that are $10 million, $5 million, whatever they cost, right? And all this money that is being thrown into this war against Ukraine could be used for some of these communities like this to, rebuild these communities, rebuild their homes. The infrastructure that's currently collapsing inside of Russia, they could be spending this money on things like this versus throwing it at the war. So I wanted to show you guys that today. We've been showing you lots of images and video footage, lots of infrastructure failing in Russia recently. Okay, so now I want to show you guys a few updates coming out from Vladimir Putin, and also we'll have a clip from Andrei Belousov, the newly appointed defense minister in Russia, and we've got a few statements to show you guys. This is from War Translated Dmitry. People go to the front voluntarily, said Putin. He told how many Russians are sent to war every day. Okay, so we got another clip of a top official coming out from the Kremlin, now obviously Vladimir Putin, the president, claiming that lots of people are signing up for the war and they're voluntarily heading over to the front line in Ukraine. Take a look at this.
Приведу цифру. В этом году ежедневно, в среднем более 1000 человек ежедневно поступают на военную службу по контракту. Люди добровольно идут на фронт. Приведу цифру. В этом году.
All right, just a quick clip, guys. So as you can see, he says here more than 1,000 people every single day enlisting for military service under contract, okay? And voluntarily heading to the front line. Isn't that crazy? Do you believe that 1,000 people every single day are signing up for the Russian military to go fight in Ukraine? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Also from Anton Gerashenko, Russia must be ready for war with NATO and Europe in the next 10 years, says Russian Defense Minister Belousov. Okay, Andrei Belousov, the newly appointed defense minister right here. We've got a 50-second clip of him claiming this, that they're going to be preparing for war with NATO in the next 10 years. Now, we know that NATO is doing the same thing right now. I've shown you guys multiple reports of that. Top officials coming out from NATO preparing for war with Russia, even as soon as 5 years, according to Mark Rutte just the other day, the Secretary General of NATO. Take a look at this video.
В условиях деятельность Министерства обороны строится с учетом следующих ключевых факторов. Во-первых, это ведение активных боевых действий в ходе специальной военной операции, а также выполнение отдельных задач и обеспечение военного присутствия в странах Центральной Азии, Африки, на Кавказе и в Приднестровье. Во-вторых, это обеспечение полной готовности к любому развитию обстановки в среднесрочной перспективе, включая возможный военный конфликт с НАТО в Европе в ближайшие десятилетия. Об этом говорят решения, которые были приняты на прошедшем в июле текущего года саммите Североатлантического альянса. Также это находит отражение в доктринальных документах США и других стран НАТО. В условиях деятельности.
All right, so we've seen lots of reports like this, okay? We've seen many Western officials claiming that in 4 to 5 years, maybe by 2028, 2029, NATO could be at war with Russia. Now we're seeing from a major Russian official, Andrei Belousov here, claiming that in the next 10 years, they're preparing for a potential conflict with NATO. So, let me know what you think down below. Why do you think that in the next 5 or 10 years this could possibly happen? I haven't been able to come up with anything concrete on why, Russia would be at war with NATO at that time. But we do know even right now, many NATO nations on the Eastern Front, like the Baltic nations, Poland, many of these nations are preparing for war with Russia in the future. They've been setting up dragon's teeth on their lands at some of the bridges, primarily in the Baltic nations. So they are preparing for war with Russia to an extent, or at least some sort of defensive style attack from Russia. But let me know what you think down below. Do you think that there is going to be a war in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe sooner? And why would it be stretched out that far, and why would it not come sooner? Let me know what you think down below. Also from Anton Gerashenko, Putin on November 28th, serial production of the Reshnik complex has already begun. Putin on December 16th, serial production of the Reshnik complex will begin soon. So this was kind of like a parody video that was created for Vladimir Putin. Him claiming just a couple weeks ago that the Reshnik medium-range ballistic missile that was fired into Ukraine, around the time that it was fired, Putin came out and said that the serial production of this weapon, mass production, has already begun. Now, just today, he's claiming that it will begin soon. So take a look at this clip.
Серийное производство орешника началось. A few moments later.
В ближайшее время должен быть обеспечен серийный выпуск таких комплексов для защиты безопасности России и наших союзников.
Серийное производство.
All right, so why do you think maybe they're claiming now that all of a sudden this Oreshnik missile is not ready to go? They're not ready for, mass production yet, when just a couple weeks ago they were. Is Vladimir Putin lying here, or what's going on? But we really don't know for sure, but we know that these Oreshnik medium-range ballistic missiles are very expensive. And considering that, Russia's economy is not doing well right now, how are they going to fund a project like this to start producing a lot of these? But very interesting information regarding that today. Also, for more translated Dmitry, we had another statement here from Andrei Belousov. It says Russia is talking about victory in the war in 2025. In 2025, Moscow plans to win the war in Ukraine and achieve the goals announced by Putin in June, Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov said. He also said that the Russians have set a goal of capturing the entire territory of 4 Ukrainian regions: Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. Okay, so it looks like, according to Andrei Belousov, this is a major war goal for Russia. Okay, so we've been reporting recently, like down in the south, primarily in the Zaporizhia region, also the Kherson region, that the Russians were preparing for a major assault down there. We also reported last week that Ukrainian partisan groups down in the Crimean Peninsula were reporting major military columns of Russian troops heading up to potentially the Zaporizhia region, which is an indication that a major assault could potentially take place in that area. Now, we have not heard of official confirmation of that yet, but it could be coming very soon. So it does look like a major war goal is to capture these 4 regions: Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. Okay, Russia is going to try to take the entirety of them. And how are they going to do that by 2025? They've been moving at the pace that they've been moving lately. Now, they've been moving relatively quickly over the last couple months, but not nearly as fast if they want to obtain the entirety of these 4 regions by 2025. They would have to move much quicker. So makes me wonder what Russia could potentially have up their sleeve, aside from sending meat assaults into Ukraine, okay? Moving on to another update from Nexta. The Syrian opposition politely says bye-bye to the Russian military who are evacuating Syria. So I wanted to show you guys another video here. You're going to see a Syrian opposition member or, fighter. And he's going to be flipping the bird, as you can see here, to some of the Russian soldiers that are potentially leaving Syria. Now, we have not heard of official confirmation of Russia leaving completely from their bases, but a lot of their troops are starting to evacuate Syria over the last week. And I want to show you guys this real quick. Take a look at this. All right, so obviously the Syrian rebels are not very happy with the Russians, and they seem to be happy that the Russians are leaving for the most part. Now, again, I don't know for sure if they're completely pulling out. I have not seen that information yet. But again, more indication here that the Russians are starting to leave and head home, okay? So we'll move on to another update now from Max24. Ukraine is working on a ballistic missile, probably Sapsan, which was successfully tested this year, according to EP. Sapsan may become an improved analog of the Russian Iskander. So here's reportedly a picture of this system here. So a new ballistic missile that could be used by Ukraine very soon. We've been hearing that they've been testing lots of ballistic missiles recently. Cruise missiles as well. They just upgraded their Neptune missile. Then they've got all these new rocket drones, the Palinitsia drone, the Peklo drone. So Ukraine is definitely beefing up in terms of rockets and missiles and drones and all these different aerial attacks that they can start launching onto Russia very soon. So here's a new update regarding this. So the Sapsan ballistic missile launcher, okay? So very cool to see that. Also from the Ukrainian Review, Trump will never give Ukraine the American security guarantees it demands, according to the New York Times. He seeks not only to end the war without assuming any responsibility for Ukraine's defense, but also to reduce the U.S. commitment to ensuring the security of Europe as a whole. Now, this doesn't surprise me completely, as, Donald Trump has been speaking like this a lot lately, that, he doesn't want U.S. troops to be stationed inside of Ukraine if this war does come to an end. He's come out multiple times, said, that should be Europe's job to do that, send German troops over there, UK troops, whoever it might be. have European troops stationed inside of Ukraine. But it's interesting here that it says, according to the New York Times, that he will never give Ukraine the American security guarantees it demands. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens when it actually comes time to negotiations. But we don't know for sure if he's going to abandon Ukraine. He came out and said last week that he wouldn't. So who really knows what's going to happen here? We'll have to wait and see for official confirmation. Okay. Also, another update regarding Donald Trump. Max 24. We are trying to stop the terrible war in Ukraine. We are making little progress. It is difficult, unpleasant war, according to Trump. The number of soldiers being killed on both sides is astronomical. I have never seen anything like it. We are doing everything we can. We will see what comes of it. Okay, so the reason why I want to show you guys this post as well is that just over the last week, what we have seen from Donald Trump is he appears to be showing signs that maybe he's not going to be able to end this war, okay? He came out last week saying he'll try to end this war if he can, okay? Now we're starting to see him coming out claiming they're making little progress, it's difficult, maybe they're not going to end this war, so who knows what's going to happen. Maybe Donald Trump just used that as as some more leverage during his fight to try to get into the White House. But now that his position has been secured, he will be inaugurated in January. Now we're kind of seeing a 180 where all of a sudden he's claiming that maybe he won't be able to end this war. So I don't know what's going to happen over here, but definitely a lot of questions up in the air to be asked right now. Okay, also from Anton Gerashenko, due to the accident with two Volga-neft tankers, about 3,000 tons of fuel oil probably spilled into the Black Sea. Russians admitted that, unfortunately, the fuel tanks are damaged in both tankers. About 1,500 tons of fuel oil leaked out of each of them. The Russian government's press service said the leakage of oil products occurred partially without specifying the volumes, As a result of the crash of the tankers, fuel oil has spilled into the sea, drifting to the coast in the area from Cape Panagia to the Tulsa Spit. The government said in a statement, this is going to cause huge damage to the environment. Okay, so maybe some of you guys heard about this yesterday. I was not here. I take Sundays off, so generally I'm not here to put out news, but I did hear about this yesterday that we had two Volga-neft oil tankers that were damaged. I think even one of them or two of them here split in half and officially sank in the ocean in the Black Sea. And now we're talking about a major environmental disaster over here, okay? Lots of experts were warning about this, that this oil is potentially going to leak into the ocean over here in the Black Sea, causing a major environmental disaster. So this was a picture coming out yesterday. There was lots of video footage, too, indicating these Russian tankers that had split in half and officially sank, okay? All right, also from Nexta, Ukrainian media are now sharing drone footage of what they claim are North Korean soldiers in the Kursk region. Okay, so once again, now we're getting more pictures and looks like video footage now from an FPV drone potentially recording what looks to be maybe North Korean soldiers in the Kursk region of Russia. Okay, now obviously this video footage is a little blurry, but when you look closely, they kind of look like they could be North Korean soldiers over here taking cover in this tree line. Okay, so very, very interesting information here. We've been seeing a lot over the last week that the Russians had supposedly deployed North Korean soldiers to the front line in military combat operations against Ukrainians in the Kursk region. So again, more indication potentially that we are seeing North Koreans now on the front line. All right, also from NOAA reports, Ukraine's new Peklo cruise missile enters mass production. Over the past 3 months, the manufacturer has produced around 100 units. The missile boasts a striking range of 700 kilometers. Okay, so I was curious to see how many of these Peklo drones that Ukraine currently had. So it looks like they have around 100 of them produced right now. As we showed you guys this video, I think it was like last week or the week before was when this was unveiled. And just in this little auditorium here, we can see at least 20 or so of them. So this is indicating that Ukraine has a decent amount of them already produced. It looks like they have at least 100 units. And we have been reporting recently that Ukraine was supposedly using these several times. I think once up in the Kursk region or Bryansk region, up above Ukraine, just in the north, and then also potentially down in the Rostov region in the city of Taganrog. Okay, we had a major attack over there, potentially these Peklo drones also being used. So very interesting that Ukraine's got 100 of these produced already. That's quite a bit. Okay, also from Jurgen Nodit, this horrific photo is just one small fragment of kilometers of mass graves outside Mariupol, taken from a satellite. It is impossible to convey what the residents of this city had to endure in 2022. By April, Mariupol was practically wiped off the face of the earth. Show this photo to everyone who, for some reason, still supports Putin and considers this damn war necessary. So take a look at this, guys. Somebody was able to capture some satellite imagery of what appears to be mass graves. And this photo was taken outside of Mariupol, okay, from a satellite. So isn't that kind of scary to see that? You know, this could be potentially thousands of people right here that were buried in mass graves. And again, according to this information, this is one of several areas inside of occupied Ukraine where there are lots of potentially soldiers. Who know if these are citizens? Who knows who these people are that have been buried here in these mass graves? So very crazy situation over here. Hopefully this war can come to an end and people can stop suffering over here in these areas, okay? A couple more things to show you guys before we get you out of here from Kiev Independent. These are the indicative estimates of Russia's combat losses as of December 16th, according to the armed forces of Ukraine. So here's another update for you guys with this diagram showing the Russian losses according to the Ukrainians. It says here as of December 16th, 1,070 troops. So the troop numbers have been falling recently. I've been noticing Russia's not losing as many troops as they were just like in the last week or so. And then also here, 29 AFVs, 82 vehicles and fuel tanks, 12 tanks, 23 artillery systems, 16 UAVs, 2 special equipment, and something big here, 12 tanks, guys. That's a lot more than normal. Usually we see anywhere from 3 to like 6. Looks like the Russians lost 12 in the last 24 hours. All right, moving on to our last update. This one's from Nexta. 27 out of 49 UAVs shot down by air defense forces this night. Another 14 drones were locationally lost, according to the Air Force. Air defense forces operated in Chernihiv, Sumy, Cherkasy, Klemensky, Kharkiv, and Dnipropetrovsk, regions. No hits were recorded. There was no information about damage or casualties. Okay, so that's good news. We haven't really heard of any major attacks inside of Ukraine over the last 24 hours, but here's a little diagram. Looks like 27 out of 49 of these UAVs that Ukraine fired into Russia last night were shot down. So again, a good majority of them being taken down in the skies over Ukraine. And Ukraine has been doing a very good job taking down at least 50% of them or more every single day as Russia continues to fire these Shahed drones into Ukraine. Okay, so again, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here today, and I hope you all had a great weekend. Let's go ahead and get this this week started off very good here. So again, today is December 16th, 2024. It is Monday, so hope you all enjoy your week. And again, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you got something out of this update, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.